got lots of guitars. We've got lots of Blue Ridges and some Eastman guitars. These are all really, really great. I highly recommend them to anybody. I'm a Dreadnought person myself. I play a lot of Bluegrass. Tonally speaking, the Dreadnought does more of what I want it to do. Take this guy here. This is a Eastman E8D as it goes. They are big. They're not comfortable for everybody. For the sort of like bluegrassy country stuff, because you're doing a lot of alternating bass stuff. Having that punchy bottom end. Having that sort of like big, full, punchy bottom end is really important for that sort of style. Especially if you're doing sort of single note picked bass stuff, it really pops out, you know, it really actually fills the space. Like, and even if you're sort of... Yeah, it really, Dreadnoughts are big and full and warm sounding. I much prefer a triple O for sort of like finger pick stuff because they're a much more balanced sound. Of course it's for horses, but for this horse, Dreadnought please. And we've got some really, really lovely Dreadnoughts, as I say. In this sort of price bracket, the sort of like 500 to a couple of grand mid-rangey price bracket, especially for like sort of bluegrass and Americana related stuff, but in general as well, I think Blue Ridge and Eastman are really the two companies who do Martin-styled guitar like really, really, really well. Blue Ridge here do two major ranges. You've got the modern range, like this one, which are often characterized by having a brighter top. And the historic range, like these ones, they tend to use this slightly more orangey, vintage type dye for. The main difference between them is they've got different bracing patterns. There's pre-war and post-war, essentially, Martin bracing patterns, where they shifted where the main braces are going across the bottom. So, like, the modern style ones are sort of like, they're a lot tighter sounding and a lot sort of like crisper and cleaner. So you get like, so you get this really sort of like, so you got this like really sort of like poppy sounding, like not as in the style, as in like it pops, crisp sounding thing. Whereas the older historic style stuff, you get a much drier, punchier sort of sound out of. It's less crisp, less sort of like biting, but like sort of, yeah, much sort of like drier and sort of like a bit more full sounding thing, I think. You kind of get a little bit more bite down this end. Whereas with the modern patterned ones, you get a more it's less sort of like full but cleaner and sort of like clearer sounding. Eastmans are also really, really great. For example, this Eastman E1D, which is Eastman's entry-level Dreadnought. These things are £600. Kicks like an absolute mule for like 600. For 600, that's crazy. That's £600, guys. That's crazy. The E8D, which I was playing earlier, is a rosewood back and sides, spruce top Dreadnought. And again, for like 1,400 quid, there's very little on the market that I would consider it up against. Like, I think actually it's a perfect thing of like the Eastman Blue Ridge thing, because like this is about 1,400 quid's worth of Eastman, which sounds amazing. It's like super clean and like really full sounding and really punchy. And this actually is around about the same price's worth of Blue Ridge. It's a bit more sort of like vintage sounding, which I like myself, but again, it's very much personal preference. Both rosewood dreadnoughts, both spruce tops, in a lot of ways very similar, but like tonally completely different things. It's very much personal taste, what thing you like there. I got a Blue Ridge myself, but like I can understand why people would get an Eastman. What great guitars. What a reasonable price.